Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Inventor's Quick Tips. In this episode, we're going to take a look at an inventor and the product they invented. We'll be going through the problem recognition phase and then see the inventor's solutions. And we'll wrap up with the inventor's take on the value of prototyping. So let's talk about the problem. Many motorcycles use a chain to drive the rear wheels in order to make the motorcycle move. A motorcycle chain is actually made of many riveted links that rotate. Since the chain is basically a moving part, it needs to be kept lubricated in order to ensure proper operation of the motorcycle. There currently exist chain lubricators that apply oil to the chain as it goes by. However, you need to make sure that the chain is moving when you apply the oil. Otherwise, the oil doesn't get properly distributed onto the chain. So basically, you only want to release oil when the motorcycle is in motion. When it is stationary, you do not want to dispense oil. So in order to detect motion, the previous systems had to have a way to detect motion either through a built-in GPS or by interfacing to electronic systems on the motorcycle. Both of these approaches add cost and complexity to the product. So to sum up the problem, there exist chain lubricators that apply oil to the chain. However, the chain needs to be moving when you apply the oil. And the previous systems use a GPS or electronic interface to the motorcycle speed sensors, things like that. These approaches add cost and complexity. So enter Mike Steele, who is a motorcycle enthusiast and an inventor. He came up with a wind-activated oil dispensing system for the motorcycle chain. The oil is only dispensed when a significant wind is detected due to motorcycle movement. Oil is therefore only dispensed when the motorcycle is in motion, because when it's not in motion, there's not that much wind hitting the wind sensor. And so you don't need to interface to electronic speed sensing equipment or use a GPS or, electricity to power the GPS. So it's a much more simple and cost-effective solution. Here is an example of the device, and as you can see, there is a tube on the right that detects wind pressure. The bulb in the center there is an oil reservoir, and then on the left-hand side is an output port where chain oil is dispensed when the wind pressure exceeds a certain level. Now let's hear a few brief words from the inventor about his invention process. You did quite a bit of prototyping for this to develop it.
Yeah, I mean, the most crude prototype was really just to see if the concept would work, and I'd really just use kind of a small water bottle, put an inlet tube and an outlet tube in it, filled it up with water, went out and rode for about 5 miles, and took the seat off the motorcycle, and all the water had transferred out of the bottle. So that was kind of the proof of concept model. From there, I started trying out different types of reservoirs, different sizes, and things like that, until we came up with the final product.
And was there anything in your prototyping that you learned that found its way into your patent application?
Yeah, there was actually a couple things. One was where you put the flow restrictor in the device makes a lot of difference, in that if you were to put it in a down tube, you may get a siphoning effect, which means if you got some oil left in the tube, it's going to want to continue to flow down, and that's going to want to pull the rest of the oil out. So you might, there was a couple times where I'd wake up in the morning and go down, and there's a little pool of oil under my bike, and the reservoir was completely empty. So, and then the other thing was the chain really doesn't need a whole lot of oil. It really just needs to get oil to kind of keep it loose and keep the O-rings in the chain lubricated. So it doesn't really need much oil. So really the second challenge was getting the flow rate down low enough, getting a flow restrictor that gets the flow rate low enough that so you're not making a mess.
I see. So those details found its way into your patent application?
Right, yeah.
So what would you say to would-be inventors about the value of prototyping?
Oh, it's definitely definitely good to prototype. I mean, you could always file a follow-up application for new things that you found, but that's more expense and everything else. So if you're an entrepreneur, patenting is really just one step in the process. Then you've got to worry about manufacturing and marketing and everything else.
Now, you've already sold this device commercially, correct?
Yeah, we've sold it. We started out just trying to sell it in the U.S., and we started quickly getting inquiries from places overseas like the UK and Australia. So we kind of opened it up and started trying to sell it overseas. We've actually sold it in 41 countries to date.
Wow, that's great. Well, Mr. Steele, thanks for talking with us today, and good luck with your invention.
All right, thank you very much.
So thanks again to Mr. Steele for speaking with Inventor's Quick Tips, and congratulations on the commercialization of your invention. As you can now see, prototyping is a key factor to success. Making adjustments and corrections to refine your product so it is optimized for effectiveness can increase your chances for commercial success. So thanks again for checking out this episode of Inventor's Quick Tips, and we'll see you again next time.